Now we are going to discuss the importance or the use of more than one method of separation. In the last classes we have discussed the various methods of separations like hand picking method, threshing, winnowing, sieving, then sedimentation, decantation, filtration and evaporation. Now let us discuss how we will apply these all more than one method of separation. For example, if you have to separate the sugar from wheat powder, what will you do? Yes, you will do the sieving, isn't it? Such that the flour will be getting on the paper while the sugar will be there remains on the sieve. But while we are how will be possible to separate the sand and salt? How will you separate the sand and salt from their mixture? We all know that the hand picking method would not be suitable for this. Is it easy to separate the sand and salt by hand picking? Definitely not. Then what about sieving? Will the sieve work here? That also will not do. So in such case, we may have to apply more than one methods. We may have to apply more than one methods. So let us discuss what should do in this case or how we will separate the salt and sand. Then what we have to do there? Yes, first we have to keep the mixture in a beaker. Keep the mixture means we have to keep the mixture of sand and salt in a beaker. Then what we should do? Yes, we should add some water to it. We should add some water to it. Now we have to stir it well and we have to leave the beaker aside for some time. After stirring it well, we have to leave the beaker for some time. Then what will happen or what will you see the? Yes, we will be seeing that the salt will be dissolving with the water. The salt from the mixture of salt and sand will be dissolving with the water, and after a few times or after a few minutes you may be able to see that the sand will be settling down the bottom. Sand will be settling down at the bottom. The sand can be separated by decantation or filtration by using this method. Already the sand has been settled, isn't it? Now what should we do? Yes, we can separate the sand by decantation or filtration. Decantation means if you are allowing the water if you are flowing the water to another container, this is decantation. And filtration, using the filtration we can separate the fine particles of sand. So we will be getting, if you are applying the decantation and filtration, we will be getting this salt solution itself and we will be getting the sand separately. Then we know that the water contains the salt which was there in the mixture at the beginning. At the beginning we got only the water and salt. Now we had separated the sand, but again we have to separate the salt and water. So what we have to do there? Is it possible to separate the salt and water from the decanted liquid by using the decantation or filtration or sedimentation? Now we have got the decanted liquid, isn't it? That liquid is the salt solution. Now we have to separate them. So what we have to do there? The last method we can apply here, which is that, yes, the evaporation. We can apply the evaporation. So what we should do there? Yes, we have to transfer the whole liquid to a kettle and we have to close its lid. And we have to heat the kettle for some time. So you may be seeing the picture here. And what will you notice? Yes, you can see that the steam is coming from the spout of the kettle. The steam will be coming from the spout of the kettle. Then what we have to do? We have to get the salt and water separately. We have to get the salt and water separately. So that is why the need of evaporation and the need of closing the lid. So now we have evaporated the water, isn't it? We are going to evaporate the water, and that is why we are able to see the steam coming from the spout of the kettle. Then we have to get this. What is the what this steam contains? The steam contains the water. The steam contains the water vapor, isn't it? Now we have to separate this water vapor also. We have to separate the water also. So what should we do? Yes, you should take a metal plate with some ice on it. You should take a metal plate with some ice on it, and you have to hold the plate just above the spout of the kettle as shown in the figure. So what will be observing the yes, and if we are keeping, when the steam comes in the contact with the metal plate is cooled with the ice, it condenses and forms the liquid water. Sometimes you may be noticed that from your home itself, while you are boiling anything, and if you are keeping the lid on the beaker or on the vessel which we have been boiled, what happened? You may be able to see the water vapors or the water drops on the lid while you opens it, isn't it? So likewise you may be able to see the water or the liquid water. These water drops that you observed falling from the plate is due to condensation of the steam. So what is mean by condensation? Yes, the process of conversion of water vapor into its liquid form is called condensation. The process of conversion of water vapor into its liquid form is called condensation. Earlier in previous we have discussed about evaporation. The process of conversion of water into water vapor is evaporation. The directly opposite. The opposite is condensation. That is the process of conversion of water vapor into its liquid is called condensation. Then you have been seen that water drops condensed under a plate that has been used to cover a vessel containing milk that just been boiled. After all the water has been evaporated, we will be getting the salt left behind in the kettle. In the kettle, we will be able to see the salt. We have thus separated salt and water using the process of decantation, filtration, evaporation and condensation. First we have separated the sand by using sedimentation and decantation. Then we have used the filtration also there. Then next we have done evaporation and condensation to separate the salt and water. So while you are condensing, as shown in the figure, if you are keeping the lid on the top, we have to place the ice, and we have to take out that water into another container also. That you should keep in your mind. In the textbook you can see the experiment which has been done by Paheli. Paheli faced a problem while recovering the salt mixed with the sand. She has mixed a packet of sand in a small quantity or in a small amount of sand. And a packet of salt. Then she tried to the above methods. Above methods means already we have discussed it, to recover the sand, but she found anyway the salt recovered by Paheli was only a small part of the salt that she had taken. What may be happening there? Let us discuss what has been happened there. For that you need to take 2 glasses. And you should 2 glasses or 2 beakers you can take. You have to take a small spoon salt and water. Then take a cup of water in the beaker. Take a cup of water in the beaker and you should add 1 teaspoon completely, 1 teaspoonful of sand and stir it well. Shake it well until the last salt dissolves completely. Until the last salt dissolves completely. So what you should do, what you have to do, you have to take the beaker and you have to add 1 glass of water and you have to stir it well till the salt dissolves completely. Then what you should do there? Yes, now the salt may be disappeared. While you are tasting, you can see you maybe feel the presence of salt, but by look you may not be able to do. Then what you should do? Take 1 more teaspoon. You have to take 1 more teaspoon of sand, 1 more teaspoon of salt, and you have to stir it well again. So while we have added the second teaspoonful of salt, it again dissolved it. You should add half spoon of salt also. So what you may be observing, that also may be dissolving. So after adding a few spoon of salt, the sum of the salt remains undissolved and settles at the bottom of the beak. Isn't it? For a few spoons it has been dissolved. Then if you are adding it again and again, what happens? And if you are even if you are shaking or stirring it, there will not be any use for that. There may be settling some of this salt. So what does it say? Yes, this means that no more salt can be dissolved in the amount of water we have taken. We have taken a glass of water, but the last pinch, if we are applying the last pinch of water, which is leaving some sediments of salt there, we could not be dissolving, or what we will say, no more salt can be dissolved in the amount of water we have taken. This solution is now said to be saturated solution. The solution is said to be saturated solution. How will you prepare the saturated solution? A solution is prepared by how will you prepare the saturated solution? You can add, if you are preparing this saturated solution of sugar, what you should do? First you could take the required amount of water and you should add 1 teaspoonful of sugar and you could shake it very well. Then what we should do? You should take one more other spoon. Then do it. Then while you are seeing then after you add 2 teaspoonful of sugar, you should be very aware of adding sugar again and again. So you can take the sugar in small quantities and you could do wherever the sugar remains on the bottom or whenever the sugar settles in the bottom. You might have noticed that while you are preparing the lemonade and all from your home, after shaking it, some of the sugar maybe settles down of the beaker, isn't it? So just imagine that while you have applied 2 or 3 spoons of 2 or 3 teaspoonful of sugar, it has been dissolved in the cup of water. So you just think, if you are adding the 1 or half of a teaspoon in the 1 cup of water, it should leave the sediment there. In such situation, we are calling it as saturated solution. Then how will you make the solution? Yes, the solution is prepared by dissolving a substance in a liquid. A solution is prepared by dissolving a substance in a liquid. That means we can prepare the salt solution by dissolving the salt in the water. Similarly, we can prepare the sugar solution by dissolving the sugar in the water. So we can prepare the solution by dissolving a substance in the liquid. In the salt water, the salt is known as solute and the water is known as solvent, while the mixture is not, the salt solution is the solution. Salt is solvent, salt is solute, water is solvent, salt is the solute, water is the solvent, and the salt water is the solution. Similarly, in the sugar solution, sugar is the solute, water is the solvent, and the sugar water is the solution. Then a solution is said to be saturated if it cannot dissolve more of the substance in it. That means we have discussed it earlier. If you have mixed 1 or 2 teaspoonful of salt or sugar in the water, a cup of water, then if we are adding one half of a teaspoon of sugar itself, it could be extra there, or it should leave the sediment there. So such solution is known as saturated solution. Then you have taken 2 beakers now. So you have made the saturated solution in 1 beaker in the same quantity. You have to use the same amount of water and same amount of solute also. If you are taking sugar, the same amount of sugar, or if you are taking salt, you should take the same amount of salt also in the second beaker, and you should stir it well, and you have to make the saturated solution. Then what you should do, add 1 or 2 teaspoonful of salt or sugar, whatever maybe you have taken again to it. Then stir it well. Then what will you observe, though the sugar will be remains the sugar will or the salt will be leaving behind that. Then what you should do, you just try to heat or boil the water, heat or boil the solution. Then what will you be see? Yes, you may be seeing that the sugar or the salt may be started to dissolve in the water, in the solution. So what did you understood here? Yes, the larger quantity of the salt or sugar can be dissolved in water by heating. Now you might got a hint what happened to Paheli. Yes, the amount of the quantity or the amount of water she may be taken will be very less. Perhaps the quantity of the salt was much more than the required to form the saturated solution. So what happened with the salt maybe goes along with the sand also. So the undissolved salt would be remain mixed with the sand, and it could not be recovered. So how will you solve this? Yes, she should add more quantity of water to it. She should add more quantity of water to it. Suppose she did not have sufficient quantity of water to dissolve all the salt in the mixture. Is there some way that water could be made to dissolve more salt before solution gets saturated? Isn't it? So what should she has to do? She should add more quantity of water such that the entire salt should be dissolved in the water. Then she can allow the mixture to stand in a while. Then she can sediment the sand in the mixture. Then she can do the decantation or filtration to separate the sand from the water, and then she can do the evaporation and condensation to separate the salt from the salt solution. So with this we are completing this chapter. We have finished this chapter. In this chapter we have discussed the various method of separation of substances like hand picking method, threshing method, winnowing. Then we have discussed about sieving. Then we have discussed about sedimentation, filtration, decantation. Then the last we have discussed about evaporation in the last class, and today we have discussed about the condensation and the importance of doing more than one method to separate one substance. So these all things we have discussed, and along with that we have discussed about the saturated solution also. Hope you got understood this topic. If you have any doubt, you could contact us. Thank you. Have a nice day.